Hi, Android Girl here. This is a tutorial on how to make a custom 3D printed business card with your own portrait on it. The first step is to create a free Tinkercad account. You can enter your own information. I already have an account, so I'll just sign in here. Next, you'll want to sign up for a free Thingiverse account. Fill in your info here under Create an Account. Next, in the URL, type in /thing:74322. This will take you to a custom lithopane generator. And click Open in Customizer. You're going to want to select a small pane size and check the invert colors box. Next, you're going to choose the JPG file that you want to use and click on Create Thing. I unclicked Publish because I want it to be private. You can name it whatever you want. Click on Create Thing. This is going to take a few minutes for it to show up on your account. To view it, click on My Things under your avatar photo. So these are just some old lithopanes that I made before. The new one won't show up for a few minutes. So in the meantime, go back to Tinkercad and click on Create New Design. So we'll start to create the business card now. So find the red box, click on it, and click anywhere on the blue work grid, and it will be deposited on the work grid. I like to use the mouse to navigate through Tinkercad. You can use the scroll wheel to zoom in and out, and to turn the orientation, you right-click and drag. So use the ruler tool to manually enter in the dimensions of the business card. It's more precise than clicking and dragging. So for the width, I want 89. The height, I want 51. And for the thickness, I want 1. This is all in millimeters. All right, let's move this over to the side. Again, to zoom in, you use the scroll wheel, and to change orientation, you right-click and drag. All right, now find the text icon. Click on it and drop it down on the work plane. Type in your name. And again, we're going to use the ruler tool to manually set the dimensions of the text. So I want it to be 40 millimeters wide. Five millimeters high. And 0.5 millimeters thick. Let's take a look at what we've made so far. Looking good. Now we're going to put the text on top of the card, and to do this, we're going to select the work plane, and we're going to click anywhere on top of the card. This makes a new orange work plane. We're going to drag the text over the card, and we're going to type the letter D. So that basically drops the text onto that orange work plane. Get rid of the orange work plane now, we don't need it anymore, by selecting work plane and clicking anywhere outside the orange grid. So let's take a look at it. It helps in Tinkercad to put things in the middle of the grid. So let's take a look at it. We can see that it pops up nicely from the top of the card. So now we're going to make 4 copies of this line of text. Under the Edit menu, you can click Copy and Paste 4 times. And click and drag to position the lines of text on top of the card. Because we copied these from the original, they're the right dimensions that we want, and they're also all going to be sitting on top of the card. So now we can change the text by clicking on a line and entering the new text in the inspector box. So I'm going to enter my Twitter handle, and I'm going to enter a fake phone number. And I'm going to enter my location. And finally, my email address. I want the occupation to be less wide, so I'm going to use the ruler tool again. To manually reduce the width. Let's make it 40 millimeters. Alright, so now I want to change the snap grid to 0.1 millimeters. This allows me to make fine-tuned adjustments in increments of 0.1 millimeters. So let's get the vertical spacing between the lines exactly how we want it. All right, and I'm going to line up the text to the right side. And all right, let's get this vertical spacing just how I want it. Okay, that's good. Now I'm going to shift click on all of the lines of text. This will select them all at once. And under the Adjust menu, click Align. And we're going to click on the bottom right dot. And this will align them to the right of the card. Move the card over a little bit so they're not completely touching the edge. And then left click and drag to select the entire thing and click Group. This is going to group the text and the card together, and they're going to be all joined as one. And you can move it around along the work pane as if it were one piece. Again, right-click and drag to change orientation. Use the scroll wheel to zoom in and out. Let's put this on the side. And now we're going to import our lithopane. So I'm going to refresh the page, and we'll see the new lithopane. Click on it, and click on Thing Files, and click on the file, and it's going to download it onto your computer. Next, under Import, you're going to choose the file, find the file that you just downloaded, and click on Import. This will take a minute for it to upload. Alright, so let's make the lithopane a little smaller by clicking on one of the small squares on the corner. Okay, I'm going to drag it over the card just to make sure it's the right size. Let's make it a little bigger by left clicking on the tiny white square. Okay, let's put the pane in the middle of our grid. And what we need to do is remove those raised edges and also that hanging loop on top. So under letters, select an I. I'm going to use a keyboard shortcut here to make 3 more copies of it by pressing Command-C, Command-V. Command-C copies it and Command-V pastes it. Otherwise, you can use the Edit menu as we did before. So let's put 1 on each side. I want to make the eyes longer so that they're big enough to cover the edge. You don't have to be exact. The goal is to just get those edges covered. Use the arrow to rotate the angle. Again, you don't have to be exact. The angle conveniently shows up so you can see that it's exactly 90. Not that it really matters here, but it'd be nice to have a nice square. Alright, let's right click and drag and let's rotate this around. See if all our edges are covered. Okay, the top loop is not quite covered, so I'm just going to make that a little bigger. Great. So what I'm going to do is shift click on all 4 of the eyes. This is going to select them all at once, and I'm going to click Whole. And then I'm going to drag the box around it and click Group. And what this is going to do is remove any material that's covered by the holes. And there we have it, our lithopane. Let's put it where we want it on the card. We can always adjust the size. Alright, so let's select the whole thing again and click Group. And this is going to combine everything together into one piece. So we can move it around. And voila, a custom-made business card with your own portrait on it. To export the file for 3D printing, you're going to click Download for 3D Printing from the Design menu and select the STL version. Thank you for watching and happy 3D printing!